Hello, welcome to Gemstone Tarot, Wednesday the 17th. Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday the 17th of December 2025. We have cats coming in and out, don't we, sweetheart? We've got Minnie at the moment. Minnie using a scratching post. Hi, sweetie. She sometimes comes and sits here on the windowsill. And we've got Diablo knocking around. Not much change there, I'm afraid. But, you know, hope springs eternal. Something springs eternal. Mostly Diablo. Okay. Oof. Well, the cards have just chosen themselves. That's good, isn't it? I am using today this Shaman's Dream, which is one of my faves to use. Anybody made their Christmas pud yet? I never make one because I'm not a massive fan. I feel like it's something I could grow to like, you know, maybe in my next decade. You know how, like, in my 20s I learned to like olives. So maybe, you know, in my next decade I can hope to like Christmas pudding. Okay, let me know what you're doing for Christmas pud or alternatives. Now, God, I think I need my readers on for this. All right, I get it. I'm going to put that one there. First, we get this really weird card, which is called Caterpillar. And I think it's like a caterpillar with a cat's head, which I don't know why, but that really twists my melon for some reason. Yeah, look, it's lots of kind of cat's heads that are sort of cat's heads that are wrapped around like a caterpillar. I know, you have to ask yourself where Colette Baron Reid was when she did this, because I want some. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, this is an opportunity, but in my experience, it's an opportunity that may be a little bit disguised or not quite look how you thought it would look when you get it. I think that actually does make sense in the end. Then, and I don't know if I've ever seen this one before, and I don't know why it's, I'm going to say mice. I initially thought it was squirrels, but you know what I'm like. Two mice in a mushroom. I refer you to my earlier comment. This is benefactor, grace and generosity. So again, I'm feeling a sense of opportunity. This could be financial, it could be in terms of someone giving you really good advice. They could be giving you a really good tip about where to get something, where to do something. Particularly, I'm getting for those of you, and I know it's not really the time of year for it, but I'm getting a really good hunch about job hunting. So even though it's not the time of year for it, if you're feeling that, go with it, okay? And then we get this card, which is the Magician's Sword, like this, confidence in your magic. And this is across the board, you know, whether this is to do with your love life, whether this is to do with looking for new opportunities, whether this is about applying for grants if you're wanting to do a project or repair your house or whatever it is. It's having confidence in your own wisdom, in your own words, and in your own little bit of fairy dust, which is something we can't really describe or account for. But it's literally when we think, well, that will probably work out okay. I know, for no good reason at all. Like, there needs to be no reason for that, no rationale. It's like, well, that'll just be all right. Then we get stranger, curiosity. And this is about being curious for me. It's about being open. It's about being curious. It's about opportunities coming from things that we don't normally look at. So if you're a creative person, this is about maybe looking at something from a different angle. If you're not a creative person, try it, okay? This is maybe about joining a class or something to do, I don't know. I mean, I'm not, when it comes to art and stuff, I am not creative. So for me, it would be like joining a watercolor class. I barely even know how to mix a paint or hold a brush or anything like that. But sometimes it's not about whether you can then become Monet or Rembrandt or whoever, and I know they're probably not even watercolourists, but you know what I mean. It's about what happens when you get there. So let's say you're a writer, but you go and join a painting class. Sometimes it can really help your writing. Let's say you're socially awkward, you're shy, you find it difficult. Sometimes learning something like tennis, for example. When I learned tennis, I learned a lot about people. Mostly because for some unknown reason, when people play tennis, their real personality comes out on the court. I know. And I had to learn, being in a tennis team and needing to, win matches and all that and put up with whatever came at you, I had to learn how to deal with it. And it did. It gave me a sense of acceptance because I learned that I can get really angry when I'm on a tennis court as well, shout and swear and all the rest of it. I know, lorry driver Gemma comes out, and that other people can. And I remember when we used to have tennis matches with people, and there could be almost fisticuffs as you changed ends. And then afterwards you had to go break bread and eat the meal with them, because we used to have a meal afterwards, a cup of tea, a cup of coffee or a beer or whatever. And then we would sit and the home team would provide the food. And then the people you'd just been yelling at or accusing of cheating, you'd be eating hummus and bread dip with. And there was something about being able to achieve that taught me so much more than tennis could teach me itself. So there's something here about the stranger has something to offer, and there's something about curiosity, there's something about trusting something new, and that we don't always know. If we think to ourselves, if I go to that painting class or I go to that tap dancing class, it's all going to be this, that and the other. We don't always know. There are always so many hidden things. Things we thought we'd like and it turns out we don't. Things we thought we wouldn't, it turns out that we do. And then we get the wailing tree. Now, somebody got this for the monthly in December. I'm just going to look it up because it's a very interesting card. Reconciliations. And I'm not sure if this is reconciliation as in we'll meet again, or a bit more like accountants do, when you do a cash reconciliation. Let me just have a look. Yeah. Eesh. When you encounter the wailing tree on your path, it's an invitation to stay a while and regroup, a place for you to rest and allow yourself to say goodbye to what no longer serves. I suppose we are crawling to the end of the year, aren't we? You may have been overdoing things, working too hard, putting too much effort into life with little reward. You're like, Gemma, you're speaking my language. If you've been considering making a change, curiosity, now is the time to do so. One important thing to consider before you make any changes is that you need to allow yourself to feel the disappointment, to feel the loss, to mourn what was and what just couldn't be. This is a way to honour your experience, to give yourself time to consider all the gifts in it, to put proper closure to it, to really know what you've learned as you walk away from it and into something new. Even in the perception of failure, there is much good to be discovered. However, skipping the stages of loss doesn't get you to reconciliation any faster. In fact, you will discover that you'll have to come back at some point. So do it now. Look at it all squarely and honestly and stay with the feelings. Life is not either or. It is both and, this and that. So, as you dive in and process this, allow it to become a temporary travel companion on your journey. The feelings that this will bring to the surface will be challenging for sure. Yet, like all things, they will pass soon enough, and you will be more enriched by the experience. Oof, quite a sobering reading, isn't it? Have a very good Wednesday. It is, after all, the peak of the week. Leave me a comment and I will see you tomorrow. Namaste.